guys, welcome back to Scott Family Homestead, or if you are new here, welcome. I'm so happy you are here. Today I'm going to introduce you to a different part of the homestead, one we have never talked about, not on Instagram, Facebook, anywhere, and that is the back half of our property. We have three main parts to our property. First is the part that we are farming, and that's only about, I'd say 15 acres approximately, maybe less. We've got a bunch of acreage that we rent out to be made into hay. And then the back part of our property is all wooded. So when we moved in here, we were very excited for the prospect of hunting. We do whitetail deer hunting, and this is the perfect property for that. It has a river that runs through it, and we were very excited about that. But one little bonus that we didn't know when we purchased the house is that there is actually a hunting cabin back on this acreage. I would love to show that to you guys today, and we've got a bunch of projects back there as fall sets in. I know we're doing garden tours and all the summer things. It's still August. We haven't even started making wood, firewood yet, and we have so many other projects to work on. But that little part of our property is really important to our homesteading as well, and I'm going to show you what we've got out there, what we have planned, and what our little cabin in the woods looks like. We are going to go ahead and head out that way. We have to take the road to get to that part of our property because the river runs through between our farm and the hunting land, and so we're going to head out that way. I've got my chainsaw, and I'm going to stop. Ryan's going to feed the pigs on the way, right? Yep. Ryan's going to feed the pigs, so we got all of our feed loaded up, and we're going to head out into the woods. Ryan built this new hog feeder out of an IBC tote. I don't really know how he did it. Maybe he can explain another time. It's working really good. You can get a lot more pigs around it than our little two-place feeder. And he just fills it from the top. So we get to feed them a lot less often. You can fill it up. It'll last us a few days. They have done some good work in here. Still a bit of grass, but they're doing a lot of digging. That's making up a lot of their diet, which is really good for them as pasture pigs. Just to show this, it is open on both sides. So about 6 can get around there comfortably at one time, but because they have grain available to them all the time, that seems to be enough space.
Probably holds about 700 to 800 pounds of feed if we wanted to fill it all the way up to the top. We usually put like 400 or 500. It'll last us about a week.
So this cabin has been completely abandoned. It was used as a hunting cabin many years ago, and it has just been left here. You can see the animals have gotten to it. This is all porcupine damage, and there's definitely some damage inside too, mostly from squirrels and mice. It has seen better days, but we are really excited for this project because I think this could be really, really cool. Kind of tucked way back in here in the woods. It has a whole story and a whole history, and we don't know a lot of it, but it's something we're definitely very excited to start working on as the harvest season winds down. So the exterior needs lots of work. I thought about taking this bottom part off entirely and putting either metal down here with a trim up top, or maybe residing the whole thing. It really depends. We don't want to sink a whole lot of money into this, and so we're just gonna have to see what the budget is for. And a lot of this we won't get to this year. It definitely needs a new roof, and I think that's pretty important right now in order to save the structure. It needs a new roof, and there is not a wood stove in here, so right now that chimney is causing a lot of problems inside, and we have to make a decision on that of whether or not we want to have a wood stove in there. Figure that out when we redo the roof. Let's go take a look inside the cabin. So it's already kind of late in the day. I waited for Ryan to get done with work, and so it's pretty dark in here. This is set up for a generator, so there's actually plugs in the walls, but it is off-grid for now. It smells like mice. It smells like animals. It has a little loft up here. Got a little deer mount. It's got a loft up here with a couple mattresses in it. They've got to go. They've been completely eaten. All of this furniture in here is going to either need to be tossed or deep cleaned. Depends on if it has fabric on it. Anything that has fabric on it has been destroyed by rodents and animals. Anything that is wooden or metal, we are going to try to save and see what we can do. But it's kind of hard to see. It's all wood siding in here, which is really cool. And so I think we'll be able to salvage a lot of what the interior structure is. It's looking much better than the exterior. Some of the stuff in here is really cool, and I think we'll keep it just for the sake of it being like a cool old hunting cabin. But I don't know if any of this means anything to anybody or if it is sentimental. I hate that it just got left here out in the woods. But it's going to be really cool to go through some of this old stuff. Can just imagine the card games played here and the memories made. And, you know, deer camp is a big thing in Wisconsin, so I hope we can have that with our kids here and get this all fixed up for them. A place for them to come home when they are older and they want to come home for deer hunting. I think this would be a really cool thing to have. Love that. So that's a project for another day. For now, I'm going to show you some of the other projects we have going on out here because this is a really cool part of our property. So I went to school for forestry. That's actually what I majored in, And the first thing you notice when you come out here is that there is a ton of dead standing timber. There's a ton of blowdown. There's a ton of firewood that needs to be made. And it's not the healthiest forest that there is. But there's a little bit of a gold mine here, and that is the sugar maples. So this is where we tapped trees last year. We got a lot of sap that we were able to make a year's supply of syrup for our family. But we only did the trees just around the cabin. Because so many of them are dead standing timber, we wanted to come out here when they were leafed out and healthy and we could see which trees were really good quality sugar maples. And we're gonna mark those today, just tie a ribbon on them. And so we know which ones we want to tap come syrup season next year, because a couple of the trees that we tapped were definitely alive, but not doing so great. And then when the buds started to come out, we noticed, oh, this one hardly has any buds on it. It's practically dead. That's why we didn't get good sugar out of it. So today we're looking for the health of the trees. We're gonna mark a whole bunch of sugar maples that open up the chance to do some sugaring out here in the spring and kind of mark our favorite trees. And then we'll also know which ones we use in 2025. Moving into 2026, kind of decide what we want to do there. The other thing is just firewood. So much firewood. So we need to get this cleaned up a bit. Luckily, we have a wood cook stove and a fireplace, and so we use a ton of firewood. I should have done this a year ago. I should have done this 6 months ago, but it just didn't happen. And so we're going to try to get wood dried a bit this year. If it ends up being too wet, then we will have to order wood, and this will be next year's. But my hope is, because so much of it is dead and standing, that maybe it won't be quite as wet. So those are our big projects back here, in addition to fixing this up. And last, but not least, we are going to get all of our trail cameras put out here and start seeing what we've got. We want to put some permanent stands out here, but for now we're going to put our ladder stands that we have. We want to get scouting some good spots out here, and we're hoping to set up a little deer camp here, raise our kids deer hunting and spending some time at deer camp. So this was a really cool find. Big bonus to doing this right now is that it is really easy to identify maples when the leaves are out. So if sugaring is something you want to do and you have a hard time identifying them when the leaves aren't on, this is a great time to go mark which trees. I'm just using ribbon, and we're gonna get a whole bunch of them marked out here. We're also using my husband's GIS app that he pays for. I don't remember exactly which one he uses, but making sure we stay on our side of the line. This one right here is a great one because it has multiple stems on it here. I actually see a deer stand up there. The ladder is no more. A lot of the deer stands that are out here are like that. The ladders have disintegrated over time. Check the size of this tree though. That thing is massive. I bet that has some sap in it. Trying to see if the tree has grown around this, but we're noticing now there are pegs on this tree here going up. That's the ladder for it. It's not my type of deer hunting, but it'll be a good sugar tree. You can see this has that old maple kind of shaggy bark to it. This one is big enough we'll be able to put multiple taps in, so this was a good find. Now I'm mostly looking for sugar maples, but I will use a red maple or a silver maple, no problem. Any maple is going to give you sap that you can make syrup out of. It's just about the sugar content and how long you boil it. We combine all of ours together, and it's really not a big issue if you have a mixture of different maples. So I'm not being particular in this case. And there are a lot of good trees out here. So there's also a lot of unhealthy trees, split trees, things that we're looking to eliminate for potential maple trees. A lot of basswood out here. You can just see there's a lot of stuff that could get taken out. It could use a good thinning. We will do that just through making firewood and trying to make this a little bit healthier forest. When a maple is young, their bark looks like this. You're looking for leaves that look like this. And if the leaves aren't on, one thing you can look for is opposite branching, which is the branches come out exactly opposite each other on each side. A lot of other trees do not have that type of branching, and so that can help you find maple trees in the wintertime if you're looking. And you do often see discoloration or lichens growing on these maples as well. This little patch here, they're too small. You want to look for at least 6-inch diameter trees. So we're going to keep moving along, but I could reach those branches to show you what we're looking for a little bit easier. But we're looking for some bigger ones. This is a maple here. This one has fallen. We'll cut that out of there. You can see it's growing in a clump right here. A lot of times red maple does that because it will root sprout or stump sprout after it's died back or been cut. And so if you see a cluster of maple trees like this, a lot of times those are your red maples. This whole cluster I would opt not to tap. We've got the one dead branch in here. It's either causing a lot of rot or the rot caused that one to fall. You also have a lot of these damage spots on here, and you're not going to get very good sap flow from that, even though there are lots of leaves up top. They are smaller as well. So I'm going to skip this one. There's a really good deer trail down there with prints.
Oh, that's good.
Like right down there, maybe on that big maple that's leaking, would be a good spot for a camera. They're all over in here though. Definitely a size difference between these and mine. Grab on the other end, there's lighter ones. Found by Harrison. Just one at a time. Pretty lightweight. I think that is. that's all we're gonna fit today.
That one tree.
You bet.
Well, at least we know where that.
Okay, this side-by-side is awesome, but it does have a very small bucket in the back. So I cut up one tree today, and we'll be out for more in the coming days. I've got a lot of work to do, and it's much nicer now that the weather is cooling down. I'll be spending a little bit more time in the woods coming up here and hopefully getting some firewood going. I'm hoping to have more content coming soon regarding this hunting cabin because I'm really excited for what is coming next. So make sure you are subscribed. We're so happy that you're here. We're also on Facebook and Instagram, especially if you're local and looking for any products. Facebook is the best place to find us. Instagram is great if you like the daily stories. I do post there every single day. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye, guys.